Welcome to the Church of Baseball coaching session. This video deals with one of the core issues as to why men are leaving the church. So if you haven't yet watched our video, The Church of Baseball, you can click here.
Yeah, I belong to the Church of Baseball.
Amen.
Yeah.
Now this video is an example of what we call the gender continuum.
Now that, real simply, is that things are associated at one end with the feminine and at the other end with the masculine.
Wait. The masculine and the feminine.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But no, masculine is over here.
Oh,
I'm doing the graphic.
Oh, you poor guy. I'm comfortable with my masculinity, so it's okay. I'm cool with that. Things from the feminine to the masculine to the feminine, whatever. It's really rather strange. Things associated with the feminine seem to be connected with females, and things associated with the masculine are associated with males. Weird. But what's underneath that? According to the sex role, or what's now called the gender-schematicity research,
ooh, big word,
is that things related to the feminine end of the spectrum are relational, and things related to the masculine end of the spectrum are instrumental. That just means an action orientation or a desire to have an impact. Oh, thank you very much. Very impactful.
Now, many people say, well, this is just gender stereotypes. Well, there is a reason why they are stereotypes, and the research backs all of this up. But we're going to go to the movies right now.
Yeah, right.
I'm a movie guy myself, so take a look at The Avengers, Titanic, Pretty Woman, James Bond, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Classic.
Yes. Indiana Jones, Terminator, Twilight, The Bourne Saga, one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, all three.
And the fourth coming soon.
Yeah, can't wait for that.
Yeah. And Legally Blonde. Now, what's interesting is when we break these down into what movies are more relationally focused and what movies are more action focused, we get this. Whoa. So all the relational movies are chick flicks.
What a shocker.
And all the action movies are action movies. and guys like action movies.
Yeah. Now, it's not hard to figure that out. Most men in America, actually 69% of the men in America, are at the instrumental end of the spectrum. Oh, excuse me, the instrumental end of the spectrum. Another 20% are in the middle. They're a combination of the instrumental and the relational. And then the 11% are on the relational end. That's how they see the world. Now, you're as much of a man no matter where you are on that spectrum. It's not about who's more of a man than somebody else.
Because remember, human beings are spiritual beings. Men and women are both
human. And so it doesn't matter where you are on that spectrum, you still have the same spiritual capacity, whether you're instrumental or relational or both.
Now, in the last 40 years, the church has become much more relationally focused. You know, it's all about the relationship with Jesus. And the typical guy, that 69% that fall over here, they have a real hard time identifying with relationships and seeing the world from a relational point of view. So as the church has said, well, Christianity is all about relationships, 69% of the guys go, what?
And the interesting thing is that as that relational focus has grown, the church has bought a false dichotomy that Christianity is a relationship, not a religion. And that's false. That's why it's a false dichotomy. Christianity is actually both a relationship with God through Jesus Christ and a religion. And it's in the religious side that we find the action. You know, ritual is an example. We've tossed ritual out of the contemporary church, and yet ritual is enacted beliefs. It's taking that belief and putting it into actions that express the meaning of that belief.
I don't know about you, but every baseball game I've gone to, every sporting event I've gone to, even if it's NASCAR, it's full of ritual. Both the players, they tap their shoes with the bat, or they have some sort of ritual that they do before they swing.
There's a guy who's a retired professional baseball player. His name George Melch, who wrote a book called Baseball Magic. No, it's an article in a book, Baseball Magic, in which he talks about the rituals of baseball players.
So if you think rituals don't connect with men, or women for that matter, you haven't ever looked at sports.
Or you haven't looked at the organizations that have been created by men for men. Every single one of them has ritual integrated into it. It's a critical part of what men put into their organizations. So the problem isn't ritual itself. The problem is dead, uninterpreted, unvarying ritual that has lost its meaning. See, men are action-oriented. At least 69% are over here on this instrumental end.
And another 20% can do action and relational. So
you're talking 79%.
89.
80.
No, 79. Wait, it's 11 minus 100, whatever that is.
Yeah, it's that one.
The math thing is never, Yeah.
Anyway, they're all action-oriented. Some of them are also relational-oriented. But at any rate, Paul says to us that we are to present our bodies as living sacrifices, which is our spiritual worship. You know what that means? That means we need to be active in our relationship with God and the expression of that relationship. That's action, that's responsibility, that's duty. That's being part of something that's bigger than ourselves. And that's religion.
The first guy in the video, the average Joe Christian, he was looking for something that was instrumental. He wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than himself. Those meaningful songs, the powerful songs, the meaningful rituals. And he found that in baseball and didn't find it in church.
Yeah, he wants something with action and something where he can test himself. That's what baseball is. You're always testing yourself, and where you can have an impact. And he wants to be part of something that's bigger than himself, as you said. Now, the other guy, the second guy,
the contemporary Christian.
Yeah, the contemporary Christian. He's at the other end of the spectrum, the relational end of the gender continuum. And the church's relational focus fits him. He's comfortable. And that's great. We're not knocking that. We're not saying we shouldn't have a relational focus, because we were previously at the other end of the spectrum and we threw that baby out with the bathwater.
The baby Jesus went out?
Yeah.
The bathwater?
Well, yeah, could be. And so it's great as far as it goes to have that relational focus. But on the other hand, without the action side, the church inevitably, and individual Christians, turn inward. It's one of the reasons so many Christians don't attend church. If the church is just a personal just about a personal relationship with Jesus.
Well, I can do that on my own.
Yeah. Me and Jesus is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have to go to church because it's just a personal relationship. So, what's the result of all this? You want to know who we are reaching among the men?
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm glad you asked. We are reaching men who are in the middle and the relational end of the gender spectrum. 65% of the men in the churches that I've worked with over the last 25 years have been either in the middle or at the end of the relational spectrum, using one of several of the sexual or gender schematicity measures that you use to find that out. 65%. That compares with 69% of the men outside the church who are instrumental in orientation rather than relational. Now, if the church is going to reach those men, the ones who are instrumental, it's going to have to rediscover instrumentality. It's going to have to rediscover action orientation.
It's going to have to put its rally caps on.
Okay, rally caps. Yeah, it's going to have to rediscover meaningful ritual, not toss the baby out with the bathwater.
Meaningful ritual.
Meaningful ritual. Actually, that's a symbol. It's a ritual involving symbols, actually. Anyway, and the church is going to have to rediscover action in the world beyond its walls, where it has an impact. Remember, instrumentality is action orientation and the desire to have an what? Impact.
Impact.
Thank you very much.
Now, we are going to go a lot more in detail into the research behind this, the gender schematicity.
And there's a ton of it.
There's a lot of it. We are working on our second channel called Church with Balls. And that is where, for those people who want to delve deep, get to the root stuff, learn how their churches can grow a pair and what it takes to be a church with balls. That's where we're going to deal with that.
You know you're getting us in deep.
We also have more videos coming up on Church Without Balls, so stay tuned. They are coming your way.
All right.